Hey, everybody, this is Jackie Robinson, the Successability Coach and the founder of She Boss Unlimited. How are you all? We are in the third day of January of 2020, January 3rd, 2020. We just breached the new year, and I hope that you all are just excited as I am about what this upcoming year has to offer. I know that I am. So, one of the things that I usually do the beginning of every year is called the first 100 days. And you'll probably hear me talking about that a little bit more in the next few days. But one of the things I do in the first 100 days is I talk about the things I would like to accomplish within the first 100 days of every year. And I encourage other people to do that. And of course, I do it myself. And one of the things that I have on my list to accomplish within the first 100 days of 2020 is that I was going to become active on my live stream on YouTube. I was going to be more active with YouTube and start posting videos and things of that nature. So that is what I'm doing. So I am, by being on here live with you, tonight, I am actually fulfilling one of my goals for the first 100 days. So, listen, what I want to talk about in this short video is how to remain visible when working in a virtual workplace and work culture now. We know that since COVID and the pandemic has came upon us, we work the way we knew it once before, probably February of 2020 before, has been completely changed. And many people are working virtually now. And so the face-to-face contact is very limited, especially for some companies, because some companies have not gone back to the office yet. And some of them are still working hybrid, where they may be working in the office a little bit, or they stagger people out. Not every department is in the building at the same time, or something of that nature. But anyway, most companies are not back to exactly the way they did business and operated in their organization prior to the pandemic. So, with that being said, I know that those who are very ambitious and career driven are thinking, how do I remain visible in a virtual workplace? I mean, I don't get the chance to see the people that make the decisions that much. They don't have an opportunity to see me that much. We're not in the office anymore. You know, you're wondering, will I lose my relevancy? Will they forget about all the skills and how talented I am? And my answer to you is no. Absolutely not. But I do want to offer you some things that you can do to make sure that you do remain visible in this time of virtual working. And the first thing I want to say is that you need to be present. And by present, I don't mean just showing up. We know that we're doing a lot of virtual meetings on Teams, on Zoom, and maybe either some other platforms. There's a lot of virtual meetings that take place. Well, I know the tendency during virtual meetings is to be a little bit more relaxed. I would say for that person who absolutely wants to make sure that they remain visible, that they remain memorable, and that their bosses know that they're still in it to win it, even in a virtual workplace. You need to be present. That means when you show up to those virtual meetings, make sure that you are participating in the meeting. Make sure that you're answering questions. Make sure you're prepared ahead of time. Make sure that if they're asking for you to put information in the chat, you chat, ask questions in chat, raise your hand, give the little reactions, show yourself, make sure that you are present, and make sure you do that all the time in the meetings. They know who participate and who don't. They know who participate and who does not participate in those virtual meetings. So make sure that you are remaining present by showing yourself, by participating in those meetings. And the next thing I would say is continue to dress professionally for certain meetings. I would say yes, that you can dress down some if it's just a team meeting or something like that. If you want to dress down with your team, if you're a manager or a supervisor, or even if you're an individual contributor, just some of those basic short team meetings or huddle meetings you might have early in the morning or something, you can feel free to dress down a little casual if that's been allowed. Um, but don't get too casual. I mean, we have all seen memes and jokes and videos and everything of people who have these snafus happen during their virtual meetings and these slip ups that happen. I say that this is not the time to be slipping up. You don't have to really just fall all the way back when it comes to your level of professionalism and how you present yourself just because you are virtual. You still want to look polished. You still want to make sure your hair is brushed, your hair is combed. You still want to look as fresh as you would when you walk into the office. You might wear a polo today and not a suit, but you still want to make sure that you're looking nice and presentable during those actual meetings as well. And be mindful of your camera and how your camera is set up. If you are one of those people who want to dress top up professionally and bottom down still in your pajamas or your loungewear, that's fine as long as you remember that and you don't make any kind of movements to where the lower half of your body is going to be picked up by the camera. That's where those embarrassing moments come up at. So I would just say go ahead and just dress for the day. Even I mean, even if you just put on some slacks. I mean like some uh I would say like some not necessarily slacks, but you know what I mean. Like those they're not really professional, and it's escaping me right now, and I know y'all know what I'm talking about. But anyway, they don't have to be professional pants, but like a business casual type of attire, that's fine. And if you know that you're going to be meeting with like a higher up, or you guys are going to be meeting with a client or something like that, then you need to dress as if you would if you were going to that client's meeting, or if the office to meet with them, or if the client was coming to meet with you at you all's office, just as professional as you would dress that same way on that Zoom. Just continue to show yourself as the professional person that you are, because I know that, we're in more of a relaxed work environment, particularly for those who are working from home. But sometimes you want to make sure you don't get too comfortable, especially if you want to make sure that you're still visible. They're going to be paying attention, even if your boss isn't as dressed and as professional as they normally would. They will remember the fact that every time you show up on these virtual meetings, you still just look just as polished and professional as you do in the office. So that's my second thing for you. And also in that virtual work world, speaking of those virtual meetings and virtual trainings and what have you, keep your camera on. If you want to show yourself and make sure you remain visible and people they see that you can still conduct yourself and you still can discipline yourself and you're still focused on the work at hand in a virtual workspace, keep your camera on. A lot of times people turn their cameras off, and honestly, they probably do for a variety of reasons. Some people may not want their camera on if they're not dressed appropriately, or right now they don't want to be seen, and that's okay because sometimes we all might have a day or so like that. But just don't make that every single time you have a meeting, a virtual meeting. Some people may be distracted and they don't want the people that they're in a meeting with to know that they're distracted. And that's the main reason why I would love for you to keep your camera on. If you want to remain visible and being showing yourself as truly present and focused on the work that needs to be done and showing up as the professional person that you are. They notice that you're on the camera all the time. They can see your facial expressions. They can see your nonverbal cues as well. So, along with the other participation in the virtual meeting, it's good for them to actually lay eyes on you. I mean, it's the best they can do right now, especially if you're still in a workplace that has not come back to the office yet, that is not meeting or doing anything face to face at all. That this is the closest they can get to it. So you can remain connected and close to your boss, your supervisors, those decision makers, those people who are looking out for that high potential talent within the workplace, and all of those managers and supervisors who may be thinking about some people that they want to offer a special project or recommend to be on a committee or something. Make sure that you are showing up on the camera. Keep your camera on. Now, mute, of course, until you are ready to speak, just because you don't want the background noise to pick up from your background. But definitely do keep your camera on through the whole meeting. Now, if for some reason, something weird happens or something unexpected happens that is in your background, you can turn your camera off, but turn it back on. Turn it back on. Keep your camera on if you want to remain visible, if you want to continue to show yourself as fully present in your profession, and let people know that you're still here and you're fully engaged with your company, with your projects, or in the meeting in particular. Absolutely. And so, another thing I would like to say, when you want to try to stay relevant, when you want to try to stay visible, I would say this: when you bring up concerns, or if you have a complaint, I really don't like to use the word complaint too much. I rather use the word concern, but sometimes complaint is relevant. So, complaints or concerns, make sure that you also offer a solution, a potential solution, at least one or two. So don't be the person who is constantly bringing issues to the table, or who is constantly making mention of things that are not right or not correct or not accurate, or that you just don't like or you disagree with, without being able to back that up with at least one solution, two at the most. And then explain why you think it's a problem and how you think that your solution might be the perfect answer for that issue. So again, you showing yourself as not only a person, you're being assertive by bringing issues to the table, but you're also being resourceful by providing any kind of uh, uh, um, relevant type of solutions. You're showing yourself as relevant. You're showing yourself as a decision maker, a strategic thinker as well. So make sure when you have concerns or complaints that you also back those up with at least one solution, one possible solution. And it's just a suggestion. It doesn't mean that they have to go with what you say, but they will respect the fact that you didn't just come with an issue or a complaint, but you also gave a potential resolution to it as well. That goes a long way, even if it's not something that they can execute right now, or may not think that it would be necessary at the point, or maybe they have more questions about it. Maybe you that would just actually open the door for more conversation about the situation, and again, that could pull you into a situation where you might be, spearheading a project or something. So come with the potential solutions and the potential answers to any issue or concern that you bring up. That's another way to stay relevant. And the last thing I want to say for you that you can do is you can actually volunteer. Yes, I know. We're all super busy, and the virtual work world, sometimes it seems like it has created a little more work because you got to make a little more effort to do certain things. I do understand that. But listen to what I'm going to say about volunteering to maintain your visibility so that you're still being noticed by those decision makers as the high potential professional that you are. Volunteer to do things like take notes during the virtual meeting that you're going to have for your department or for the whole agency or for the committee. Volunteer to do something like that. Volunteer to take the notes. Volunteer to take down attendance to make sure, write down everybody's name who was there. If your organization or your department is one who likes to make sure that they know who was in attendance. Volunteer to be the person to not only take the notes, but then type them up, kind of like minutes. It's almost like taking minutes at a board meeting or something like that. And then volunteer to send them out to everybody as a recap. Send it to the meeting leader first, and let them review them first. And maybe they want to add something to it that you can ask. Now, I'm not saying you have to do this all the time, but I'm saying every now and then you might want to volunteer to do something like that, because again, that's going to show you take initiative. You are someone who is all in. You're being attentive, and you're focused on the business and the issues at hand that brought the meeting about in the first place. So these are things that I think that you will be able to do to maintain your visibility in this world of virtual working. It is challenging now in so many ways. Some ways it's liberating. But again, for those of you who worry about being forgotten about because you don't get as much face time as you used to, or the people who you want to be able to show your skills to, you don't get a chance to interact with them as much anymore. These are just a few ways that you can function in the virtual environment to make yourself remain visible. So I hope this was a help to you. And my name is Jackie Robinson again. I am the Successability Coach and the founder of She Boss Unlimited. You can take a look at my website for more information about me and what I do at www.shebossunlimited.com. And do me a favor, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to my channel. I am going to do so much better. I have so much content as a subject matter expert in training and development, professional development, learning, workplace culture, analysis. I have so much I want to share with you all, and I plan to do more of that in 2022 on this station and on this channel on YouTube. So click the subscribe button, and you will be notified whenever I go live. And I'm going to try to make sure that I'm doing that at least once a month. So here's my first one for 2022. And this is one of the first things that I've done to check off my first 100 days checklist. All right. Well, until next time, you all have a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous rest of the week. Bye now.